All right, so we're a family of 5 with 3 daughters that are age 4, 6, and 8, and trying to keep all their sports activities, our work schedules, both parents work, as well as other activities that we have going on together. We really need an integrated calendar that does the scheduling for us, but then also something that helps keep our family at home more organized and together. So what I really like about these smart calendars here is that they also have things like routines and lists that get the kids rewarded for actually following and doing their chores, getting their homework done, making their bed, all those types of fun activities. And then they even go a step further in helping us do things like meal planning, so we can help get new dishes in there that we like, and that also help us get a grocery list together. So let's go through these different features and show you which ones I like the best and which ones need some work. All right, so I have both boxes here. Now I have the Hearth here, and just look at the packaging. Obviously the Skylight one is a little bit more customer focused there. I assume maybe the Hearth one, this is because it's shipped directly from them online, but if they had a store presence, I would assume that it would not come in this kind of plain cardboard box. They probably have more of a display like this one, but let's open it up and see how they look coming out of the box. Alright, so not a whole lot to this. We have the main display, we have the power cable here, and we have the wall anchors to attach with a little pamphlet here with instructions. It is a kind of full color with some good information in here. And then on the back side here you can see it basically has like a mounting plate. I think this guy slides down. This is what you mount to your wall. It has a little level bubble in there, and you can mount that, and then you slide the unit down on it. So let's open up the Skylight. Alright, so it looks like this one has a little bit of a different approach with how it works. This is a snap-on magnetic frame, it looks like. Power cord looks very similar to the Hearth one. And we have the quick start guide. Again, this is kind of full color. It has a QR code. I think they basically want you to download the app for the easiest setup. Alright, so this is nice because this has a template here that you can use, and this is for vertical orientation, and then on the other side is for horizontal, so it helps you out showing you how big it's going to be, so you make sure obviously it's going to fit wherever you want to put it on the wall. Alright, and so this is their wall mount, and it's smaller. It is metal versus the other one being plastic. It also has a bubble level in there to help you out. But this is a nice little compact unit there. And then again, they'll give us the hardware with, I assume, a lot of dry. Oh, they even give you a drill bit with this one. And then you get the drywall anchors in here. So let's see how well they go. Alright, so I have both of these now. Just temporarily set them up because I want to see which one I like better before I mount them to the wall. So I'm going to do the testing kind of like this with my little scrap piece of wood here to keep them from sliding out. Now, I just powered them on. These are the startup screens that they go into. I'm going to go through each one and set it up. Here on the Skylight one, it's asking me what Wi-Fi I want to connect to. And I'm going to do that, and then I'll set up the Hearth one afterwards. Okay, so it's connected, and it now is asking for an activation code. So I can go in now. I already have the Skylight app. I downloaded that in advance. All right, so now I need to do a Skylight calendar, a new device. All right, so now when I clicked add device, I did have to create a family email there, but now it's on Wi-Fi, so now I just type in this code from my tablet over to it. Set up our time zone here. Alright, so it obviously is now up and working. And so if we look here, we got Saturday, September 20th at 10:55 a.m., which is not correct. It is, there it goes, okay. It took it a second to update. I updated the time zone from West Coast to East Coast. Now it's 1:56, that's correct. And then I can enter an address to get accurate weather updates for my specific location here. Okay, so I put my address in, so now I get a accurate weather forecast for my specific home here. And obviously I haven't imported anything yet, but that's the initial startup. It was very quick and easy. let's hop over to the Hearth here and see how it goes. All right, so let me try this QR code. So I'm going to scan this QR code because the Hearth app won't let you log in without actually activating the display first. All right, so I signed up for a membership. It's a 30-day free trial. Let's see if it actually activated now. No, it's the same thing. I don't know why this is being so hard. I'm signed in on the app, but I can't get my display added. Okay, so we finally got that set up. Okay, so this is how, at least by default, they kind of look compared to each other. So I guess it doesn't want an address. It wants a zip code. It doesn't tell you that anywhere. There we go. So at least they say the same temperature. I actually do like the Hearth one because it gives me a high and a low, whereas that one just gives me a current. So a little different. Let me see if I click on it, what does it do? Okay, so it gives me a little bit of a week-long counter, which is kind of nice. Let's see what happens if I click on this one. Nothing. So okay, so that one doesn't have the tap on to get weather. Okay, well, so now I'm going to mess with this. I'm going to add my calendars to it. I'm going to add my wife's calendar. I'm going to try to get my kids engaged. I'm going to test them both out and see which one we like better. All right, so we've been using this for over a week and testing it out. The first thing I want to show you is this is their background or their screensaver, and so you can see the color difference between the Skylight one here on the left and the Hearth one on the right. It's much more vivid colors, and then I like that their photos is you can upload multiple photos and then it can scroll through them automatically through a timetable. So I really like that. The Hearth one has a background image, and it's just one single image. You can change it over time, but you have to do that individually. So that's just a little note about it. They can have sleep timers, so at nighttime they go dim. You can also change the brightness of both of these. The Skylight does have a dimmer feature where it will adjust based off light, but I actually found it a little inconsistent that it would sometimes change brightness quickly as people walk through, so it needs a little bit more of a filter on it. So I have them both set to just a set percentage of brightness. One other little neat feature we found is there's a countdown feature on the Skylight that you can have an event have a countdown. So my daughters love to count down the days until their birthdays. So here we have her birthday set up as a countdown here that you see on the main page. Now, if you notice, the Skylight one is actually mounted on the wall. That's because I like it the best. So this is the one we're going to keep up here. The Hearth one is not my favorite. I'm going to kind of go through and show you why we don't like it as much. And there's actually several reasons. One is the setup process was where it really started of being more cumbersome, more difficult to use. And unfortunately, that has followed through in a lot of the other features of the Hearth unit compared to Skylight. So let me just show you some of the things that I don't like about it. All right, so as far as calendar views go, I definitely like the Skylight one better. And that's because of the option they have. My favorite view option is their schedule. The schedule option starts on your current day, so today's Sunday, and then it shows you a little red line with where you're at. You can see my rest of my family is actually at a play date, so they're all gone. Makes the house nice and quiet. And then I have the next 3 days listed. At the top, you have your meals out there, and then here we have the different calendars, and you can see the different colors that they have. That indicates if whose calendar they're on, if it's Nathan, Leslie, or other ones. So on here, you have a day view, which is just today, and then each column is a different person. So for this one, this play date, for some reason, I don't even know why it shows on Leslie's because I'm invited to it as well, but it has it listed under just hers, and if we had other events under other people, they would show up there. If I change the schedule to a day view on the Skylight, so this is technically the same, day view and day view. This one here shows you that play date. It shows you a calendar so you can quickly pick another day, which I really like. So if I wanted to run ahead forward and go to like a Friday, I can just click that Friday, number 3, and it's going to go to that day. On this one, I don't believe I have a way to go to a new day very quickly. I have to click over one at a time and go to, if I want to try to go to Friday over here. All right, now I went too far. All right, so now I'm at Friday here, and so you can see, and I have some test entries in here as well that I've added for different people, but this shows you what I have there. All right, now if I switch to the next view, it's a week view here. For the week, and I go to a week view. Again, they're a little bit different in how they lay them out. This one, I like it because it's showing me by day the list of things, and to me it's just easier to read and follow versus this one. I do have a couple different events. Some of them are specific to just that Hearth unit, but this gives you an idea of the different views. And then lastly, there's a month view here. If I click a month and a month, the other thing you can see here is how much quicker the Skylight one responded than the Hearth one. So here again, I find it more helpful. And in fact, this one's in October because I had October picked, but this would be September. If I was in this month, this is what it would show me. On here, you can see the day, the 28th. It shows not only this week, but it shows you the next week as well. On the Hearth one, it only shows me the current week. So all of this stuff above it is earlier in September, which is already gone. So to me, it's a waste of space. I wish it would have the 28th higher up. Even this one, for the matter, I would almost like it better if it had the month always start at the top. So to me, the monthly view is not something I would use a whole lot personally. So for me, my favorite is either the schedule view, or I'm actually starting to grow a little bit on the week view on the Skylight one because the way it lays it out. Okay, so let's talk about the way that the kids use it. Now, I will say the one thing I do think is kind of nice about the Hearth is the little icons they have for the kids. I think the kids like those. You can upload a picture as well. I actually looked at the roadmap for Skylight, and they actually do have adding pictures as something they want to do for the profile. So that's something they're going to add. And I guess I'll get into a little ramble about that as well. Is Skylight has a lot more, I guess, user community interactiveness. You can go in there and submit for features, and they actually share that with you. I'll put a link down in the video description where you can actually see their roadmap of things they've completed, things that they're working on to improve based off customer feedback. The task, we don't have them set up in this section because my wife, I've been getting her to test these out to use them, and she's basically given up, say, hey, I don't want to use the Hearth one, I like the Skylight one. So she's actually spent a lot more time using the Skylight one, and she's really got creative. She found you can use little icons for the different activities that the kids do. So they have both the routines, which would be like a daily activity, as well as a one day or just a single event in here, and you can assign stars or points and rewards to them, and then when they check them off, then they get those stars added to their status. So this is something we can tell the kids, even the 4-year-old can understand, to go in there and look and say, okay, did I clean a bathroom? Yes or no, and they can check it off. Then they can go to the rewards tab, and they can see here the amount of rewards that they have and how many more rewards they need in order to get a specific activity. So this is what the kids like to do. On this one, you can also add the activities, and they can mark them as done. The routines is a separate tab. So instead of having all of them listed under task in one area, they have a list area and then a routines area. And I do like some aspects of the routine because, let's say for the kids, morning routine, you can click view. We have this every day at 7 a.m. They have like a wake up and then make your bed, brush your teeth, and you can assign which ones. Only some of them could get points, and other ones they don't get points for. And as they complete them, then they will get a, let's see if I can maybe mark it done. Let's see if it'll show. Okay, there you go. So now it's way done complete. And you get the same kind of little, graphic that kind of makes the kids feel good when those activities get done. And then on here, in order to see their points, you go back to the family, and then I could click on her. And so here you can see that she did her routine today. It'll show you if they did the routine every day. And I can click cash out. And this is how they can see what activities they could have to cash out. So you can click request, and then this will send a request to a parent to get that reward. So then here's the reward shelf, and it's not listed. I guess the parent has to accept it, and then they could see the reward shelf. All right, so let's talk about the meals a little bit. Now, we, quite frankly, don't use meal planning or meal prep. We don't do that very well. We pick stuff up, but this is maybe actually going to help us do some of that, because they do add some capability to, one, come up with meal ideas, get your ingredients, as well as get your recipes. So what I've done here is I just added a couple test ones, and I would ask their helper tool to come up with ideas. And then what you can see here, this lays them out in different ways now. And this one, I only have the dinner, so that's why you only see the far right column. Here you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you can see I have a lunch set up and a dinner for most of these days. I can click on any of these, and it will show me the ingredients as well as the instructions for that day. And I'll show you here a little bit different now. On both of these, I think you really have to use the app feature in order to do these appropriately, to do the AI things. You need to use the app. You can't do it in here. Now you could add a meal into here, but if you want to use the AI one, then I think you have to use the app on both of them. On this side, if I click on it, it comes up down here. To me, it's a little harder to read versus this one over here, where to me it's bigger and it's more, I guess, in line with where I expect it versus down here. That's a maybe minor complaint, but just some of these features feel like they're better done on the Skylight. Okay, so let me show you a feature here that's unique to Skylight, and that's where you can take your list. Now, as I added a meal, all right, so here I'm just adding a meal plan, and I can say, hey, I want it to be on, whatever days I want to pick. I can just pick these 4 days, how many people to feed, if I want to say 5 people, and I can tell it to generate a new recipe, or I can use an existing one and make new ones, and then I can add ingredients to a grocery list. So if I create that meal plan, it's going to use this AI to actually generate that, and then it will add to my list. So I've already added the other dinners and lunches all in here to my grocery list, and it keeps adding them to them. So here you can see is what it shows you to do for these meals, and it's showing you what items to add. So I can click into any of these recipes, and it's going to show me the ingredients and the instructions. I can edit them if I want to do that. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm good with that. Go ahead and go to the meals. And now if I go back to here, to my meals, you can see that they're added there into my meals. I go back to my list, and if I were to scroll on my grocery list, these items would have been added in there. But this is where, to me, the real catch is. Because so now I go to my list, I can go to my grocery list, and to me, this is the trick. So there's two things. One is organize. So I can organize my items by aisle. So, normally grocery stores have dairy together with dairy and cheese, all that stuff, yogurts all in one place. So it's going to organize my list, so it makes it easier if I were to go shop myself. Okay, so it just did it, and if you notice, it actually also organized them here. And what it means is, like, if I had 2 eggs on one thing, 4 eggs on another thing, 3 eggs on another thing, it would put them all together until you need 15 eggs, right? That one's kind of makes sense, but same thing with any of the other produce or meats or whatnot, it would combine them all together. So now I'm going to go back to my list, and so this is the other feature that is really cool in the Skylight, is I can click order. Right now it's integrated with Instacart, but I think they're looking at integrating it with other services like Walmart Plus, or other means of getting your groceries. So here I say get ingredients. So now it's going to be preparing an Instacart order, and I was very skeptical about this. I'm like, well, how is it going to know what I want? But let's go in here and see how it does this. Okay, so what it's done, I have not even logged into Instacart. I don't even have that. It's pulling up Sumner's family list. Obviously you can log in, but now it's going to show you the items. But if you don't like those items, or you want to see other options, you can click show alternatives here, and it's going to give me different options that I could pick to replace the one that was automatically picked. So this is true for all these. If you don't like Wild Bill's, for example, bites, you could change that and search for something else to get that item. So there are times when like it doesn't pick the right thing, or let's say you don't like Jimmy Dean sausage, you want some other type of sausage. You could go in here and you could pick a different alternative, or search an item and pick your own in there. So I thought this was really slick that it combines it all together, and it gives you a full list here of what you need to order, and it's integrated with at least Instacart right now, and perhaps more in the future. That is something that's not integrated at all with the Hearth. So on the Hearth Helper one, which is comparable to the Skylight Sidekick AI, here I asked it to come up with dinner plans for this week and make them all American style meals for 5, and that one actually worked pretty well. That's what he put up here, where I have burgers, pizza, fried chicken. It's very all American and simple ones there. But then when I tried to add any ingredients to a grocery list, it couldn't even add them to a list actually right now. Whereas the Skylight does do a list and even goes a step further and will put it in an Instacart grocery list. Okay, so I'm going to try the Sidekick. I have a invite here for a trunk or treat. This is a pretty difficult image here because the address is in the bottom left and it's very small, it's curved. So I'm going to try this out. I have not tried this before, but I'm going to go in here and click on my Sidekick, import an event, and then you have to assign to what profile. So I'm going to put it to my wife's profile, and then here you can see that it's imported to this calendar. So I have that one. If I want to pick a different calendar, I could do that. So I'm going to take a photo. You could also speak to it or whatnot, but I'm just going to let it take a photo. And now let's see what it's going to do. Now it's going to import this event. So let's give it some time here to try to read this calendar or this flyer and see if it can add it to the calendar. And I went ahead and put this on this October date just so we can see it, because it should pop up here as an event on the calendar as well. Okay, so there we go. It just added it, and you can see it's 4:30 to 6, which is what this invite says. And let's see, yep, it actually has the location correct, 313 Sherwood Street. That is what's on here, so I'm impressed that it actually read that. And it has the right time, and then it calls it a Halloween trunk or treat event. So it has it all right, and even tells you to host when you send an email to the person. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I gave each of them a couple of hard challenges on using AI photo recognition to actually add a event. Now they both actually passed on this trunk or treat one. They had more trouble with this full school calendar. It doesn't start on a January, it starts in August, it goes through here, and then it has the key codes. When I sent that picture to Skylight, what it did was it picked up the orange no school days and it added them as breaks. So it did like, it even called it spring break. So this March 1 to April, it called it spring break, even though it's listed here as no school. It figured out holiday break for the December one. So it actually figured that stuff out, but it did not initially add like the half day ones in there onto here. When I sent it to the Hearth AI one, it picked up, it tried to recognize the half days of school, but it actually picked the wrong dates. So I don't know how it came up with them, but it gave me some dates that aren't even on here. They're not even colored, and it marked them. Now both of them have their little asterisks that say, hey, make sure you check this stuff out. But at least for this one, the Skylight one did appear to do a better job. But I would say for both of them, you'd have to check it. It is pretty easy to click edit, and you could change the day if you needed to. And I'm sure that's something they're going to improve with time. So it's pretty cool that you can send in a picture. Now you can also send in emails or other stuff, and it pulls out the data as well. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so these calendars are designed to work with Google, iCalendar, Outlook, all the major ones. Not all of them offer two-way syncing, but what I don't like is how the Hearth one integrates it. So this is probably one of the bigger deal breakers for me, because right now, both my wife and I use Google Calendar to plan all of our stuff, and we'll invite each other if we need it to be aware. Now, technically now we wouldn't need to invite each other because we would see it on here and it would just be listed under Leslie's name or my name. But a lot of these that have an N and L means that it's something that she's invited me to. The way the Hearth one is really set up is it's kind of designed, it has its own address for an email that you can, and I think it has a text as well, you can even send, and you can get you add that as an invitee to your event to put it on here, which I don't like that because I don't want to have another, person I have to make sure gets invited. Now it syncs and it will show you the Google Calendar ones, but if I click on a Google Calendar one, if I click on it, I can't edit it. All I can do is see it, and I can see whose calendar it's on. On this one, if I pick this exact same event, and it's actually on the wife's calendar, here it shows me whose calendar it's on, as well as whose profile it gets assigned to. I could change that here, and I can edit it. So I can click Edit Event, and here I can change the name, I can change the time and the date, and I can change whose profile it goes to, and I could add a countdown if I wanted to see a countdown of days left over. So this one edits it, and then it's going to send it back to Google and edit it in Google as well. So that is a huge feature to me, because now if I want to, for example, edit my wife's one, or I want to change something on mine, I don't have to pull out my phone and do that as well. I can just walk by, I see it, I can edit it and move on. On the Hearth one, I have to go through some extra steps and change the way I use my calendar today in order to meet its demand. So for me, I don't like that. Maybe someone actually prefers to have that separate calendar, but not me. All right, so in the end, the Skylight Calendar Max is the best calendar I found for today's modern family and to keep everything organized. If you want to try it out yourself, check down below for the link in the description, as well as the QR code that you can scan to look into it more. Now the cherry on top of this is the Skylight's actually a little bit cheaper. I think it's running closer to about $600, whereas the Hearth one is closer to $700. And then they both do have subscription options that mainly add the AI capability for scanning the pictures and putting those events in there, doing the meal prep. Those are the main, I think, features of the subscription. All of the core calendar entry stuff, calendar syncing, that's all included for both of them. And the subscription is a little bit cheaper on the Skylight as well. So to me, it's better and it's cheaper. It's kind of a no-brainer. That's the one I'm going to stick with. All right, there's one other thing I want to show you, and that's the difference in what I would call the support level. So on the Hearth unit, if you need help, which you do, quite frankly, I've needed to go online and try to read the instructions to figure out how to do some of the stuff. I still struggled with it, which is saying a lot because I'm pretty tech savvy. The Hearth one, if I go to the help or support, it brings me to a page where I can get, I submit a request to get a response, which is not bad. I'm sure they probably respond, so I did not test them out, but this is what their support is like. If I go into the Skylight app and kind of do something similar where I try to go in here to their settings and do help and support, now I can get a couple options. One, I can do the support guide, so it gives me quick access to the guide that I can help myself if I need to. Or I click get in touch, and this is where they really are very different in their offering versus the Hearth unit. So for them, I can do an email, I can call them, so I get a phone number, I can also contact their media, but also they have a master class. They offer one-on-one concierge support, and this is what they give to all their customers, and they're US based. So this support is US based. You get a hold of them, you can talk to them, they're going to help walk you through if you have a calendar syncing problem, if you have a meal planning problem, whatever you have, they're going to help answer it. So in here, you can just go in there and sign up. You get their email, you get their phone number, or you can do the Calendly link to actually sign yourself up for one of their master classes. It looks like it's about every week or so that they offer. So like, right now is the 28th. In 2 days, I could sign myself up for one, or I could go into October, and I can see there's a couple next week or the following week, October 7th and 9th. I could click on these, and I could click on it, and I could sign myself up and get that classroom exercise. So Skylight also is the winner for a support standpoint as well. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for following along. If you have questions about it, feel free to ask me. Quite frankly, this is one I'm going to keep. They do have like a 4-month money back guarantee on that one. The Hearth one's only 30 days, so I can still return that one and get money back for it here. And this is one I'm going to keep for my family and use it. So if you have questions, put them in the comments below, and we'll go from there. Okay, girls, we added some more tasks for you, okay? So let's check them out.
Okay, so I got clean your bathroom sink, pack your snack for school, and read 2 chapters in your library book.
And you get different stars for each one, so you get to add these up. So you got 0 of 3 now. You have 8 stars so far from doing your other chores. Now I gotta do these chores. Okay, what's going on, Elise?
So I finished all my tasks, and I don't know what to pick.
So you're trying to decide on your rewards, which ones to get?
Yeah.
Okay, which one are you gonna pick?
I'm probably wanna pick a new book. I kinda wanna pick it.
Okay, then press the button, whichever one you want. Okay, even give you a chance to back out. You got it. You got it now.
Mama, can I look to get a new book?